Everyone knows the Saturn V, the iconic rocket that took the Apollo astronauts to the moon. Operational between 1967 and 1973, Saturn V was successfully launched for a total of 13 times from the Kennedy Space Center. Surprisingly though, as of 2021, Saturn V still remains the tallest, heaviest, and the most powerful rocket ever built, and also holds the record for heaviest payload launched and the largest payload capacity to low Earth orbit. But all this is about to change. Founded by Elon Musk in year 2002, SpaceX's primary goal is to make life multiplanetary, and their latest rocket, Starship, is built just for that. First announced in September 2016, the rocket has undergone several name and design changes, starting with the Interplanetary Transport System, then moving to BFR, aka Big Falcon Rocket, or maybe something else, and then finally to Starship. SpaceX's Starship is a fully reusable two-stage heavy lift launch vehicle. The system is composed of a booster stage named Super Heavy and a second stage called Starship. Combined, the Starship stands a whopping 120 meters tall, with a diameter of 9 meters. This makes the Starship one of the tallest rockets ever. Along with this, it is designed to carry more than 100 metric tons to low Earth orbit. Starship is powered by 6 of the company's next generation Raptor engines. 3 sea-level Raptor engines for its time in atmosphere and 3 vacuum-optimized Raptors for efficient thrust in space. Each Raptor is fueled with cryogenic methane and liquid oxygen, fuel deliberately chosen such that it can be produced in situ on Mars. While the Starship gets its kick from the 6 Raptor engines, the main power behind the whole rocket system comes from the first stage, the Super Heavy booster. Standing 70 meters tall, Super Heavy is truly massive. The booster will be powered by up to 37 Raptor engines, generating 72 million newtons of thrust during liftoff, which is more than twice of Saturn V's 34.5 million newtons of thrust during liftoff. In its final version, the combined Starship and Super Heavy will be the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed. At some point after liftoff, the booster and spacecraft will detach. Starship will continue on its journey towards the designated orbit, while the Super Heavy booster will boost back towards Earth. The Super Heavy will land on Earth much like the Falcon 9 first stage. But unlike Falcon 9 booster, which lands on a drone ship in the ocean or on a designated landing pad, SpaceX plans to land the Super Heavy booster right on the launch pad. If this was not crazy enough, SpaceX is not going to use any kind of landing legs for the Super Heavy. Elon Musk revealed in December 2020 that they will try to catch the Super Heavy booster with the grid fins using the launch tower arm. This will not only reduce the dry mass of the booster, but will also reduce the turnaround time, truly enabling rapid reusability. Once the Starship reaches orbit, it will have enough fuel to deorbit and land back. However, if the payload needs to be taken to the moon or beyond, Starship will require orbital refueling. It will be refueled with multiple tanker Starship, which will effectively allow Starship to take 100 metric tons of payload to Moon, Mars and beyond. Something that has never been possible before. As mentioned earlier, Starship has undergone several design changes. It was initially designed to be made out of lightweight carbon fiber. But in January 2019, SpaceX decided to shift to stainless steel. Even though steel is heavy, it has some advantages over carbon fiber. First, it is comparably very cheap, and secondly, its high melting point allows Starship to re-enter the atmosphere of Earth or Mars with relatively low heat shielding. When a Starship will re-enter the atmosphere, it will do so in such a way that maximum surface is exposed for atmospheric drag, which means that maximum amount of orbital energy will be released in the atmosphere itself. However, this also means very high temperature. This is where the stainless steel and the heat shields come in. During re-entry, Starship can experience temperatures more than 1500 degrees Celsius. Carbon fiber would have required a lot of heavy heat shielding in order to withstand such temperatures. But that's not the case with stainless steel. Due to its high melting point, stainless steel will require heat shielding only on the windward side of Starship. The heat shields are hexagonal ceramic tiles which are mechanically attached, which means they would not need a lot of refurbishment and can enable rapid reusability. As mentioned earlier, Starship will bleed most of its energy in the atmosphere through atmospheric drag. During the whole re-entry phase, the Starship is under the control of the aerodynamic surfaces on both the sides of the rocket. Once near the landing pad, Starship will relight its Raptor engines to flip itself vertical and then touch down on the landing pad. Being fully reusable, Starship will be the most cost-effective rocket ever produced, with a single launch costing as little as $2 million, which by the way is 0.1% of NASA's Space Launch System's $2 billion price tag. SpaceX is working very hard to achieve its goal with Starship. So far, SpaceX has built and tested multiple Starship prototypes. However, only 2 full-scale Starship prototypes have flown for high-altitude flight test as of the making of this video. And both of them had amazing flights, just with some landing failures. SpaceX will be testing a lot of these Starship prototypes for even higher altitude flight tests before eventually targeting orbit. Elon Musk is very confident that Starship will reach orbit this year and can take humans to Mars by as early as 2026. And then there is not going to be just one version of Starship, there are going to be many. There will be tanker starships for orbital refueling, lunar starships specifically designed for the moon, deep space starships, crew and cargo versions, and many more. SpaceX is planning to build 1,000 starships to eventually build the first city on Mars by 2050. Once Starship reaches orbit, it will truly usher in a new age in space exploration. What do you think about the Starship? Will it actually live up to its promises? Do let me know in the comment section. If you like the content, do consider subscribing the channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.